And Fox 26 reporter Ivory is live in Montgomery County to take a look at that aspect.
Thanks, guys. That's right. Before we get to that story, I want to let you, the viewers, know that Fox Corp has been muzzling me to keep certain information from you, the viewers. And from what I'm gathering, I am not the only reporter being subjected to this. I am going to be releasing some recordings about what goes on behind the scenes at Fox because it applies to you, the viewer.
Might have to go eat at Chipotle. Even if it is just performative, it still benefits the LGBTQIA plus community, so it's something.
The disease is the same name as the lab. That's just a little too weird, don't you think? And then they ask the scientists, they're like, how did this, so wait a minute, you work at the Wuhan respiratory coronavirus lab. How did this happen? And they're like, a pangolin kissed a turtle.
Making all sorts of noise, all sorts of controversial waves, Alice Shattuck, is Jon Stewart, who was on with Colbert last night. Was that last night?
Yeah, I think so.
Was on with Colbert last night, and Colbert was back to his studio. Actually went with a lab leak theory, which is quite a departure from where the left is supposed to be.
Right.
And a departure from Fauci Island, and something that I believe is significant because we didn't expect to hear this from any lefty progressive.
I mean, it must be mainstream if Jon Stewart's saying it.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. So it was interesting because certainly Colbert didn't see this coming.
No.
And although this was a bit by Stewart, it made the point that it was made in the lab. And this is not where the left is supposed to be right now. You are not so supposed to be suggesting that there was that this was at all malicious.
I mean, this could cause hate against Asian Americans. I don't know if Stewart thought of that, but
isn't it interesting how really this is forbidden? Really, because this was something in the perimeter of where Trump was.
Right. Trump said it, so we can't believe it.
And that's all that matters
in
this time. It's fascinating to me that we're here. Why do I sound like I don't... Oh, that's why I sound like that. That's why. Something's happening here. Check 1, 2. Uh-oh.
I don't know. Blame murder on the Millennial Express.
Yeah. It's funny. Every time you guys use the studio, when I come back, something's different. Okay. I think... I don't like the sound. Ooh. Alice, maybe we need new equipment. Uh-oh. Or maybe there's just a lot going on here. All right. Do I sound okay to you?
You sound okay to me.
Okay. I apologize out there, guys, if you're getting this, if this is sounding crappy to you, but, you know, this stuff has taken a beating. This mixer here has been to the Democratic and Republican convention in Cleveland and in Philly. It's been to 2 Super Bowls. It's been to probably 100 remote broadcasts from the days of Boston Herald. So let's listen to this Colbert and Jon Stewart. I still think Jon Stewart's a jerk. I'll always think he's a disgrace.
He gets no credit from you?
No, he's not. He ruined a generation. He made a generation of people who didn't need to be any stupider stupid.
I honestly mean this. I think we owe a great debt of gratitude to science. Science has, in many ways, helped ease the suffering of this pandemic, which was more than likely caused by science.
Ooh.
So, and that's kind of...
Hold on, what's that?
No. Now, listen.
It's coffee. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you. What do you mean by that? Do you mean like there's a chance that this was created in a lab? There's an investigation.
A chance?
Well, but
if
there was evidence, I'd love to hear it.
There's a novel respiratory coronavirus overtaking Wuhan, China. What do? Oh, you know who we could ask? The Wuhan novel respiratory coronavirus lab. The disease is the same name as the lab. That's just a little too weird, don't you think? And then they ask the scientists, they're like, how did this, so wait a minute, you work at the Wuhan respiratory coronavirus lab. How did this happen? And they're like, a pangolin kissed a turtle? And you're like, no, the name of your lab. If you look at the name, let me see your business card. Show me your business card. Oh, I work at the coronavirus lab in Wuhan. Oh, because there's a coronavirus loose in Wuhan. How did that happen? Maybe a bat flew into the cloaca of a turkey and then it sneezed into my chili and now we all have coronavirus. Like, come on.
Wait a second.
What about this? Listen to this.
Wait a second.
All right.
John.
Oh my God. There's been an outbreak of chocolatey.
Interesting how Colbert's trying to talk him down.
Yeah.
Hold on. Stop it.
Wait.
Stop it. There are people who listen to this and watch this show who won't like what you're saying right now. John,
Mm-hmm.
This is my livelihood. This is possibly your livelihood.
I have Fauci on next week. Stop.
Well, not just Fauci, but a certain country, Alice, where a Wuhan coronavirus lab is located, has business interests in the fortunes of Steve Colbert.
Goodness, near Hershey, Pennsylvania. What do you think happened? Like, oh, I don't know. Maybe a steam shovel mated with a cocoa bean. Or it's the chocolate factory. Maybe that's it.
That could be.
That could be, he says. That could be. You want me to keep going? Okay.
No, we're fine.
Okay. And it is worthy of remark, of note, that Stewart, of course, is normally, this is his normal oversimplification, etc. But he's coming from somewhere where he's just using common sense.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to be suspending common sense out of a pure passion if you're not coming to this conclusion.
Right. And then a bit later in the clip, Colbert repeats something that's like a leftist talking point, like, oh, well, they put the lab there because they have a lot of zoonotic crossovers there, and that's why, like, they put it there to study because they have the bats there. That's not actually true. The bats, they bring them from somewhere else that's thousands of miles away in a totally different part of China. That's where the crossovers happen, where the bat caves are. They do have a wet market there, but they have wet markets everywhere in China because they eat, like, weird animals that they're slaughtering live at the market. That's just, I mean, that's everywhere in China. So they did initially try and link it to that wet market, but I mean, we know that the wet market thing is not true because that was in December. They were linking all the cases to the wet market, and we know that they have recorded cases in November, and it probably dates from even earlier than that. I mean, they've looked at satellite data and stuff and said that that, you know, they can see.
Anybody?
It was my friend.
What friend?
It was just my friend.
Toast?
No,
Beth?
no, a friend we saw this weekend.
Caroline?
No, but at that.
Oh, Monica.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
So
Is she going to take the gig?
I don't know. So
If you want to know what that's all about, just DM me. Okay?
So in any case, that's not true. What Colbert says later, that like they located the lab there because there's a lot of crossovers there. Like it is sort of a big coincidence that right at this special lab that does gain of function research with bat viruses, we have you know, this crazy bat virus break out, and that we can't find this particular virus in any animals right now.
And also what Colbert says is, well, you know, Dr. Fauci said that they're going to look into the sort. My God, what a Fauci sycophant this grown man is, who's in his 50s at least, is deferring immediately. In other words, you know, it is written, you know, that the high priest Fauci has said that they're going to look into it, John. So stop, John. Stop making all this noise.
Yeah.
It is also very unusual that you would have one comedian stifling another comedian in the middle of a bit, or trying to.
Right.
Which tells you that he was afraid of something.
Yeah, I mean, Fauci also has a pretty big conflict of interest because he's been in charge of NIAID when we've given like $800,000 to this Wuhan lab for research. And so if it turns out it comes from the lab, that reflects badly on the Fauci. And he doesn't want that, obviously. So, I mean, I think we need to put somebody else in charge of the big investigation of what we're doing here.
But that's not going to happen. Biden's not going to let that happen. We do have a little interloper here at the moment, and let's see exactly what he's going to damage as we talk. But so, I mean, I do think that that this will.
Don't touch your cameras, please.
I'm sorry, but we've got a 3-year-old here. I do think that this was a very interesting bit by Stewart, and the fact that Colbert got nervous just goes to tell you, it just goes to show you, just like when Mike Bloomberg was running for president, a whole bunch of organizations were hands off on him. In the New York Times, the people who wrote op-eds for them were praising him lavishly.
Meanwhile, at the bottom of every one of the op-eds is a disclosure that he just donated $1 million to like the charity their wife runs or whatever.
Exactly. So I think that's you're gonna lose your mic if he
Stop touching that.
Unscrews it. I think that's we're gonna see that more and more as the truth ekes out a little bit at a time about how connected these folks are with Chinese interests. It's easy to see. Just remember what happened with the NBA. Over the Hong Kong stuff? Yes, over the Hong Kong protests. A year and a half ago, the NBA clammed right up. They castigated the coach who dared to criticize China, and to a person, the NBA stars defended China, including LeBron.
Look at John Cena. I mean,
yes,
just because he called Taiwan a country, which I believe it is.
Depending on what the Chinese are going to do to me, Alice, I'm on the fence. But so that was good. That's certainly the audio of the day right now, or actually maybe it's Ivory Hecker, because do we even know what's going on with her? This Fox 26 reporter from
she's
Houston?
been suspended now.
Well, I would certainly think that's coming. So you probably know this already. This happened last night or yesterday, I think, during the day. Fox 26 out of Houston, Ivory Hecker. She does the weather, or she's doing weather-related reporting for this hit, and the anchor throws to her, and she goes somewhere where they don't expect it.
Outages across the region. Fox 26 reporter Ivory Hecker is live in Montgomery County to take a look at that aspect.
Thanks, guys. That's right. Before we get to that story, I want to let you, the viewers, know that Fox Corp has been muzzling me to keep certain information from you, the viewers. And from what I'm gathering, I am not the only reporter being subjected to this. I am going to be releasing some recordings about what goes on behind the scenes at Fox, because it applies to you, the viewers. I found a nonprofit journalism group called Project Veritas. It's going to help put that out tomorrow, so tune into them. But as for this heat wave across Texas, you can see what it's doing to AC units. This one broken down as we.
So, and that is kind of a historic thing to do.
Yeah,
they throw it to her. She starts off with a salutation, goes to the conspiracy, and right back to the news story.
Yeah, it's sort of badass how she just goes right on reporting.
Yeah.
That's kind of incredible, because I'd be like shaking by the time I got through with my speech. I don't know if I'd be able to keep going just with my job. But she has been suspended, so that's supposed to come out today at some point, I guess, from Project Veritas, the information that Fox Corp is keeping from us, the viewer.
Right, and according to them, she's been suspended, but certainly she's fired. They just probably don't know how to do it right now. Also, depending on what she has on them. Right. So, but it's interesting. This is Fox Corp. So they're an affiliate of Fox in Houston. Mm-hmm. You wonder what they have, what relationship she would even have to Fox Corp.
Right.
At all, unless, of course, she was trying to run a story by her own brass, and they said no, or run it by Corp. I mean, I don't know what it would be. I don't know what Ivory Hecker would. I don't know what would put her in a position to be in the know about Fox Corp, unless she means her own immediate bosses are keeping her away from stories or something. I mean, that would make sense, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's a hell of a, like you said, it is a ballsy move, because her name is Ivory Hecker. She's an attractive young woman. She seems like Fox Corp would be somewhere where she might flourish. But
yeah, unless this is like some kind of. My guess is if she's working with Project Veritas, she's probably got something. They're probably covering up if they're covering up something, it's probably something that would be red meat to conservatives, I'm guessing. And then, I mean, she could have a career at, like, Newsmax, I guess.
Yeah, well, who knows? But
if it's Project Veritas, it's not going to be like that they're covering up that, you know, Trump is mean and actually Joe Biden's really great. Like, you know, I don't think it's going to be that. It's got to be something like...
Didn't am I wrong that did Tucker not talk about this?
I'm not sure.
Okay. No, I must have just seen the tweet while Tucker was on then, because for some reason I thought that Tucker had mentioned it. Of course, which would be telling. So what does Fox Corp do?
Right. If
about
Tucker
this? Are they?
something.
This is so interesting to me. I don't even care which way it falls. Hopefully, it's not a dud. Hopefully, it's something very interesting.
Yeah, Project Veritas can go either way. Some of their stuff is like, wow, oh my gosh, I can't believe they got this. And then other stuff is like, not, it's, you know, they cut it together.
Right,
in a
and
slightly...
I don't think, you know, O'Keefe's, his swagger doesn't help, I don't think.
Yeah, so, I mean, it depends with them.
But he's done some incredible work, that said, he certainly has.
Mm-hmm.
But she calls them, she refers to them in this report in a way that sounds like she's not very familiar.
Yeah.
So maybe she's just looking for anybody to get the word out.
Mm-hmm.
And you look under whistleblowers, whatever, Project Veritas would certainly come out. Although that would, if it's something damning, that would torpedo Keefe for any Fox News promotion, which he uses right now.
Interesting.
Although he's been banned from everywhere. So who knows?
So we'll see. We'll keep you posted on that. We'll update you tomorrow.
All right, Alice, we've got some more problems here. Let's move right to culturally.
Mm-hmm.
We've got more problems here. But before I go there, what was it we were going to mention yesterday? How I torpedoed you in the first segment?
Yes.
Right, because you
put me on blast for daring to say something that was lame.
Yeah, haggard conservative talk radio term.
Yeah.
Thing. Now, well, it's liberals too. It's just a haggard thing. So you said, well, it looks like thank God the adults are back in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you sold it the way you said it. I felt that you were.
Well, I was partially sort of being like a little bit sarcastic, but about it. I mean, I didn't intend it to be entirely,
No, it
straight
wasn't a
up.
throwaway line. It just happens to be in my collection of
I know
pet peeves.
I know that. That's why I said it.
It's not,
and I said it in that ironical way.
What's that? Did you?
Yes.
What's that?
But then you yelled at me, so then I was like cowering over here. And then after the show, you were like, you seemed a little like not engaged in the beginning. Well, maybe because you yelled at me for the entire first 5 minutes of the show.
That is such a lie. Oh, you are such a liar. Check tape.
Why do you keep saying that? What does that mean?
That means check tape. Go to the tape. I did not. There was no such.
Okay, the listeners can go check tape. Feel free to weigh in on that, on who's in the right on this one.
I did no such thing. You're absolutely lying. It was a horrific.
Hi, everyone. It's Alice Shattuck of Tom Shattuck's Burn Barrel here. You can see I'm in big chair today.
One second. We'll get to that in a second. But I do want to check the tape and see the 5 minutes of yelling. I want to verify that.
I didn't have my stopwatch going.
Okay.
Oh, you have many problems with me. I don't even think you've addressed the chicken problem that you have with me on the show yet.
That's a serious problem. I just thought about that today. That can't happen. Okay, come on. Oh, wait, I can move this, can't I? Okay, hold on, guys.
Well, look, I mean, he has made clear that...
This is actually Biden's dead air. This is not.
We're still here. Biden is not.
I believe
it takes 18 seconds to buffer while Had you said it yet? To the question. Okay, what were you saying about the adults being in charge now,
You go back to your...
currently in Europe. That was
So glad the adults are in charge again, aren't you, Tom?
Oh, Alice, that was terrible. That was so God. Oh, what a wooden performance that line was.
I was delivering a deadpan line of something that I know irks you. It was meant to be ironic.
You also said Tom in a way you never say Tom.
That's because I was delivering a line that I know. Whatever.
Now everything's too loud.
You just don't understand my humor.
Oh wait, no. You know what? There's got to be some kind of short. So,
you just don't understand my humor. But then I was in trouble with you, and then it was like I was afraid to say anything.
What was the other thing that you said a month ago in some space? Oh, you were leaning into something. That's right. You were leaning into something. But the chicken situation. Go ahead. So this is what we have. If you haven't noticed, our house is chaotic. We're constantly outside. I'm fighting nature because it's encroaching everywhere, and I'm losing. It's killing us. All the greenery and poison vines and crap have crept up everywhere. And the grass is growing. It's been raining up here. We're near the ocean, kind of. So if something happens here where it just becomes a rainforest, and the riding mower is broken, and I can't get the lawnmower is tough, especially when the grass is shooting up and it's raining for days at a time. And we've got half-finished projects and wreckage all over the back part of the house. Thankfully, that can only be seen by two neighbors. We have chaos. We have in the house. We're always trying to catch up and to make the house clean. The house has not been clean from head to toe since like right after we signed the papers to own the house.
True. Accurate.
Right. So
However,
sometimes it's a disaster. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's to varying degrees. We're over the long haul. It's freaking chaotic, and it can be demoralizing at times. But we've got 4 kids, 1 podcast, various jobs and gigs, etc. happening, and all that. So it's a very tough pain in the ass, and it's tough to ever get on top of it. If we could afford it, I'd have a cleaning person, but we have too much bleep here. My wife is a very good mother, and she showers the kids with love and 500 trillion Legos and other little things, etc. So they've made the scene in Star Wars where the walls close in on a trash compactor. That's the 2 boys. That's their room right now. You cannot see floor. And
that's not. You can see floor in there.
I haven't been in there in a while. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But we also have an addition where there's stuff crazy. So anyway, but Alice is a great wife and mother, and great on this podcast. And I also am lazy and fat and a sloth. So I'm not saying so anyway, you probably have your same struggles. You listening right now. You have the same challenges. It's freaking hard, especially with young kids and dogs and chickens and everything. Life is hard.
Mm-hmm.
We are, although blessed.
Yeah.
Because we have a great house, even though it's 300 years and it's had every form of varmint and insect or whatever, has made a comfortable home in this place for whatever. We have a great house. We have lovely, healthy kids. We are blessed. Mm-hmm. Our problems are minute compared to people with actual problems.
Yes.
But okay, so now I've set the table on and also she teaches the kids, and also she's a good person. So if they turn out to have a moral center of gravity, that's because of Alice. And she also teaches them things like how to read and how to appreciate books, which their father does not, and all this stuff. So there's Alice also hasn't slept in 7 years, so she does none of the sleeping.
Maybe 10. I
right.
don't know.
So that sets the table for our newest challenge, our newest division, and I've thought of and I hand it to you, Alice.
So back when we got our stimulus, in December, because this is when you have to plan these things ahead of time, the kids and I, because we know how little Jerry Callahan brings Tom so much joy, and because it brings us joy, we ordered some new chickens on the internet.
Which is, of course, terrible, because one of the few good things about the violence against chickens that happens around here is it reduces the amount of chickens, which means less chicken bleep, less chickens to destroy the play area in the yard where the kids like to play, fewer chicken responsibilities, less chicken filth, less guinea fowl noise to disturb neighbors And chickens now who wantonly just walk, our chickens walk to our next door neighbors and just eat all their bird seed. And our chickens are bold. They go to both neighbors. One neighbor we don't really know that well, but 9 of our animals, feed on their greenery.
Okay, but I just figured that we're down to like half of the ones we got last year.
No, so now
if we get the same amount again, then we'll lose half of those, and we'll end up with the amount we originally intended.
Get another 20 left. No, the enemy, which is filth and disorganization and destruction, is now getting reinforcements against us in a battle we're already losing outside. And that's why I'd like to give away these chickens. We can't have. That's like somebody giving us a puppy now. You and I deal with. No, well, actually, now almost exclusive. You exclusively. Though you deal with all the human.
The
crap.
Chickens aren't that much work, and they're not more work if you have more of them. It's the same amount of work for the amount that you have, like however
but
many.
But we can't use parts of the house because of them. No, not. I mean, the outside, like a patio. They own it.
Well, that's an easy fix.
It is?
Yeah, we can fix
that. When are we going to do the easy fix?
Well, let's go get the arbor.
Oh, Alice, they can fly. They jump over fences. They're not going to care that our precious arbors...
Yeah, they mostly go the direction that you release them from the thing. They don't want trouble. They want to go...
I spend a lot of time outside, Alice. No matter where I am or what quadrant of this yard I am, the chickens feel happy to come over and say hi to me. They go across the street. Alice, they don't respect boundaries.
They're pretty good.
I like the chickens themselves. The guinea fowl are dumb.
But we can also, I like them free ranging, and I know you like them free ranging too. They don't have to free range all the time. They can be in their area until like 1 p.m. and then be out for like a few hours and then go back at like 5 or 6.
My feeling is that we have, 8 of them?
7.
So, but...
We have 4 chickens and 3
we don't even have an acre
left.
of land. We have 7 chickens. How many?
I mean,
this
some
is not a
people
chicken wildlife refuge.
Some people just have them in all the time. They don't let them free range at all.
But that's not what we wanted.
Well, no, I want them to free range too, but they don't have to free range all the time.
Their
door doesn't just have to. What?
Where are they now?
They're at Cackle Hatchery.
Can we cancel our order?
No.
If you are in the market for chickens,
no, I'm not selling.
No, we can't use part of our. Then we should. Then here's the deal, Alice.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be, much like there needs to be, because I built a little garden.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be spinach happening daily.
Okay.
And there needs to be eggs happening daily.
Well, I put in the notice to the warehouse. I have been feeding the kids eggs from the chickens. My husband won't touch them because Tom is scared of the chicken eggs.
I'm scared. I've been too up and close and personal.
We don't have enough chickens to eat eggs daily.
Well, there's eggs now. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Well,
okay, so that's Alice apologizing to you for the chickens.
There's going to be so much great chicken content coming your way on the Burn Barrel.
If you are in the market for chickens, you let me know and something can be arranged. I completely...
But, we're not alone in terms of people in the pandemic taking on too much in terms of pets.
Is this a segue I should be catching on to?
Yes.
That's right, Alice. Just when I thought the adults were back in charge, it seems that a young lady is in deep trouble on the internet because she got a pooch. That's one thing at least we haven't done. We can lord this because the next door neighbors, who are our friends, they really stepped in it because they got a huge dog.
A new Great Dane.
They got a huge Great Dane. We knew, we always know. We've been talking about this for years, and every time you get a dog, it's a mistake. So
that isn't true. I love all dogs.
And they already had a dog.
They're great.
And they've got 3 kids. They decided to get a Great Dane, and they've got now the world's only extremely ill-tempered and violent Great Dane.
She's not ill-tempered and violent. She's young. She'll mellow out. Like Pepper mellowed out eventually. There were a tough few years with Pepper when Pepper was new. And
Pepper's not 7 feet tall though, Alice.
Yeah. But if you have a dog that's 170-pound dog and it's a puppy and it's a jerk, then that's a lot to handle. So
I like the dog. I
like their dog.
I have no
too.
problem, but it was something that they were hoping would not be a challenge for them, but would add. And right now it's challenging for them. So that's it. This is how we learn in life.
Well, you know what else too?
Yeah.
Is that it's chickens are much less expensive to experiment with and make mistakes with than huge purebred Great Danes.
What if we start a coronavirus here by mistake? All right, can you read about this pooch? By the way, spoiler alert and listener alert, if you're an animal lover or dog lover, this does not end well for Mr. Boots.
Yeah, trigger warning on this one because this is Madeline Bills writing for Slate. This is called When Bonnie Came Home. Just before Christmas, I adopted a 6-year-old Beagle. She was adorable and violent. I found a resolution many choose, but few acknowledge.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking,
Not you. I'm talking to her. What is she thinking writing this down?
I know, asking for trouble. Last Christmas morning, I patted my bed, inviting my newly adopted Beagle, Bonnie, to jump up and cuddle. My boyfriend, still under the covers, reached out to pet her soft little head, which was now wedged between us. I turned away to grab my phone, and it happened. A guttural bark followed by a human scream. I whipped around to see my boyfriend's hand covered in blood. Before I could figure out how to help him, he was out the door on his way to urgent care.
Oh, Bonnie.
It was Bonnie's second bite in the week since I'd adopted her. Maybe.
By the way, should she be disclosing that she and her boyfriend are carnal?
I don't know, yeah. So she was thrilled to adopt the dog. Everybody was adopted. I mean, that's late in the pandemic to adopt the dog, actually.
Yes.
Last December. So she hired a dog trainer. They worked on positive reinforcement, desensitizing her to triggers like the vacuum, which she had bitten the night before. So she, worked on getting a trainer. She bit her. She worked on it with people. They put her on dog anxiety medications.
Oh, good.
They didn't really do much. Bonnie continued to lunge at perceived threats on the street like joggers, other dogs, and kids. One night before bed, she was squatting to pee beside a tree. She bolted at a man strolling by us on the sidewalk. She chomped into his calf, his pant leg in her teeth as he tried to pull away.
Wait, who's squatting?
Bonnie was.
Okay.
And then she stopped going to the bathroom and ran at somebody who was just strolling by on the sidewalk.
So, okay.
She bit the trainer. There are no untrainable dogs. I thought only untrainable people.
Oh, God. See, I've only thumbed through this. I didn't realize that she had said that. That is, okay, demerit.
I became adept at fastening her muzzle on in a matter of seconds, which now I had to do any time we stepped beyond my door. Each time we came back inside, I tried to feel relief when nothing bad had happened. I never did. Months of failing to exhale helped me decide I should find Bonnie a new place to live. Maybe city life didn't agree with her, I reasoned, and a quiet existence in the suburbs was what she needed. But I soon learned that the shelter where Bonnie came from wouldn't help me. A volunteer explained that she was too dangerous to adopt out again, and their sanctuaries declined to take her. Another dog rescue told me that her bite history, 7 bites, though that number would grow, was too extensive for her to even qualify for a special rehab program. Both conversations ended on the same topic: behavioral euthanasia.
Oh my God! No!
I was dumbfounded to discover you could call a vet's office and ask them to do that. Suddenly, in my new quest to help Bonnie get better, I'd become the decider of her fate. Almost nobody willingly adopts a biting dog, and concealing a history of aggressive behavior is likely how I ended up with mine. I put up a post on a private rehoming site for her, making sure to disclose her history and her special needs. I explained she preferred women over men, couldn't be around children, and needed to be muzzled on walks and around visitors. Perhaps a single female hermit in a rural area would be open to managing her behavior for the next decade or so. I held out hope for a while, but never received any inquiries. As her bite count continued to grow, so did my desire to stop living with a dangerous animal. Yeah, you can see how this is going. Even if I did somehow find someone to take her, I wondered whether it wouldn't just exacerbate her crippling anxieties. I realized I had a choice. I could send her off with a stranger, someone else she would certainly injure and who would perhaps end up euthanizing her anyway. Or I could allow her to leave this terrifying world peacefully with someone she loves. Is she sure? Is she sure Bonnie loves her this much, by the way?
Yeah.
Behavioral euthanasia is not a decision made out of convenience.
Leave this world peacefully.
With
does Bonnie
someone
get a
she
vote?
loves.
Does Bonnie get a vote on exactly how peaceful it is? And if she wants to leave?
Yeah. Bonnie's last day came sooner than expected. On a quiet Sunday morning while I pet her on
You had an opening? Right, today? Sure, I'll be right there.
On a quiet Sunday morning while I pet her on the floor, she inexplicably snapped at my face, though her mouth clamped down hard around my boyfriend's forearm instead of my cheek. She doesn't seem to like the boyfriend, I can tell you that. When he jumped up, she held on, piercing deep wounds in his arm and a hole in his sweatshirt.
That dude should have just whacked Bonnie right there.
She scampered away from us afterward, head down, trembling. I was so stricken with fear I didn't realize I was also trembling, forgetting to breathe. It was then I knew for certain I could not continue living with Bonnie any longer. I tossed her one of her favorite bones to calm her down. Is that what trainers recommend after that?
Good dog.
I'm just curious. I'm not sure she likes her boyfriend much either. I called to reschedule her appointment to that afternoon.
Ooh.
Ordered an Uber and put her muzzle on for the last time. Then I hugged her for a while, still too shaken to cry. In the Uber, Bonnie, who preferred to sit in my lap during car rides, looked out the window, sweetly unaware.
Wonder where we're going. Huh.
This woman put this on the internet with her name on it.
Doesn't look like the way to the park. It's kind of a industrial.
In a few minutes, I was led down a hallway. I coaxed Bonnie to follow. A staffer showed me the room that Bonnie needed to enter.
Well, since I trust you, okay, we'll go down the hallway.
As he shut the door behind me, I heard Bonnie whine, a protest at being separated from me. I'm shattered when I think back to that moment, but at the time, everything was blank.
With Bonnie?
In the days after Bonnie was put down, I roamed my newly empty home like a zombie. I didn't sleep much, and when I did, I was startled awake by nightmares of being bitten. Crushed with guilt, I wondered if there was more I could have done to help my sweet Beagle. I didn't tell most people what happened. What if they thought I was a monster for not trying hard enough? Instead, I made a post on Instagram so I wouldn't have to talk to people who'd been gushing over Bonnie. Rather than detail her situation, I explained she had an illness that went undiagnosed before I had adopted her and that I had to say goodbye. She was sick, just in a way that was impossible for most people to see. I used that to help myself cope. She found a support group for people who kill dogs.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is tough. So let me tell you where we are here, Alice.
She eventually went to visit her moms, et cetera, sometime after I stayed at my parents' house in Massachusetts.
Oh, great.
Et cetera. I mean, so I'm curious about the timeline of this, because she adopted the dog in late December, right? Shortly before Christmas. It's now mid-June. And there was at least some time after this for her to go through her trauma and recovery and visit her parents. So she had Bonnie
what we have here, let me tell you
3 to 4 months, I guess.
Let me tell you what has happened here, Alice. We have a power vacuum in little Bonnie's life. Mm-hmm. She was adopted by an unstable narcissist, psychotic, who is dating a milquetoast, effeminate dandy. That's true. First of all, if you're a guy and little Bonnie is biting you, it's Adam Vinatieri time. Second of all,
that's kind of mean.
Second of all, if he's a guy, don't make this your psychotic girlfriend jump in an Uber to go euthanize. Get your car if you have one, which you, as a boyfriend, should be something you have, and you go take care of the rat and get rid of it or whatever. I understand that the anxiety of having a dog that's a jerk, believe me, as we both know.
Yeah.
That said, she is dishonorable and selfish. The dog never had a shot with her because she's
she
weak.
Should never have.
And because what should happen is that these dog places before they rent out dogs should have prospective owners take psych tests because and then they should ask them. By the way, do you think that only people are untrainable, not animals? And if the person says yes, they say, okay, thanks. You can get a guinea pig, but not a dog. Because dog's going to sense that you're unstable and an intellectual weakling. So
yeah, I mean, I think that this dog probably needed more than this woman could provide. I think that a 6-year-old dog who clearly, any dog that's like 6 years old that's at a shelter is going to have issues. That's just the truth. And those should go to more experienced owners, not, right off the bat, newbies at dog ownership. It seems not
right.
like a great match. And I don't think that the 3 to 4 months that she seemingly had the dog is really enough to say that you did everything, personally.
No.
There could be a little more training and effort that could go into it here.
But she gets to have everything. Mm-hmm. She still gets to feel good because she adopted a dog that nobody wanted, so she gets to feel good about that.
The fact that she lied, too, on her social media and said the dog was sick when she got it, and justifies that to herself by saying the dog actually was sick, but just not in a way that people could see. That's absolutely sociopathic behavior.
Oh, totally. And
I killed my dog, but I'm going to lie about it on social media.
And she
so
put him on
people still think I'm
meds.
cute.
He's on psychological, psychotropic.
Anti-anxiety.
Yeah, so there you go. It's his anxiety. Absolutely. I'll treat it. It's absolutely not me. It's nothing I can do. And then, Bonnie got to know that she got to pass into the ever after with somebody who loved her. That's not true. You left the room. You left the room, you psycho.
She let Bonnie face this by herself.
Yes,
Good
correct.
luck, Bonnie.
This
with someone who loves her.
Talk about.
Wow. I would look out if I were the boyfriend because I think.
Yes. How do atrocities happen in this world? It's because people like that woman.
Yes.
Now she is getting destroyed, I assume, in social media.
Oh my gosh, she's getting eaten alive on Twitter. I can't believe. I mean, you would think that, like, as a journalist person who follows news and sees the culture at large happening and pylons on social media, you would know that you can't. I mean, she knew enough not to say on her Instagram that she went and put her dog down because it bit people. Right? But for some reason, she published a whole article about it and put her name on it and then posted it on her social media.
A highly incriminating article.
Yeah.
She gives you all the evidence you need to hate her. You know why she did that? You know why she went forward with that, probably? Because she asked the advice of people around her. Should I post this or not? And they're like, no, actually, yeah. You go ahead and post that. That's a good idea. Because they probably have been around her long enough to know that she's an awful human being and just has been a force for destruction for years. And they were happy to let her walk across the...
But you got to know, even if you think that, like, euthanizing the dog was justified in this circumstance, you have got to know that you can't put that out there to the universe.
No.
You can't. You got to bury that for the rest of your days because you're going to get
because there are psychotics out there that think only people can't be trained.
Yeah, you can't do that. And, I mean, you're going to go the rest of your life now as the dog killer lady. So, good luck. Have
Poor
fun.
Bonnie.
Yeah, poor Bonnie.
You don't hear too much about beagles being bad dogs.
No, I mean, this beagle clearly had issues. And, I mean...
Yeah. Well,
it seems to be that Bonnie didn't think much of the boyfriend, and Bonnie was not good with being petted in random circumstances.
Bonnie had
which is, I mean, there
strong
are
feelings about the boyfriend, who kept getting bit, which makes me angry at him even more. Stop getting bit, okay? Stop being covered in blood when the 4-pound beagle
beagles are little.
snips at you. Yeah, I don't like the boyfriend. I don't even know what his name is, but let's go after him too while we're at it. It's what it is, Alice? It's still the French Revolution stuff. I watched more of it. I'm now a Jacobin.
You seem to be on Napoleon. When I got home last night, the TV was paused on Napoleon. So.
Yeah,
that's good.
Well, the two are intertwined, as you know.
I do know.
Have you been knocked off by your son, boy, child? Okay, so let's go to something else here, since that was an uplifting story. Alice, you're getting your hair done today. You and your daughter.
Sally and I have haircuts today. Thank you.
You look lovely today, right now, especially. Okay, I'm going to jump over to TikTok for a second. No, I got to think of something. Remember we played this yesterday, Alice?
In a weekend interview, Vladimir Putin laughed at the suggestion that you had called him a killer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still your belief, sir, that he is a killer? And I'll continue the trend if you don't mind of asking a second question. Do you believe if he does agree to cooperate, then what kind of a challenge do you find yourself in? How would you ever trust him? And if Ronald Reagan said trust but verify, what do you say to Vladimir Putin?
To answer the first question, I'm laughing too. They actually, well, look, I mean, he has made clear that the answer is, I believe he has in the past essentially acknowledged that he was.
Okay. So remember we played that yesterday. It was an incredible amount of time where Biden shut down, was just frozen in time, was unable to think of an answer, just shut down. Wasn't even reaching. He was just not there. He left us briefly. So what's remarkable about this is that even the network whose reporter asked the question ignored this.
Yeah.
They ignored their own reporting, their own guy who's embedded in the press pool there. They're not using his. Even he has not posted his own Q&A.
Yeah. It's
all of the media is ignoring this shocking and stunning back and forth.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to get in trouble here again with Tom because this is such a conservative media cliche, but do we think that would be exactly the same coverage if Trump had paused for 25 seconds in the middle of a press conference? In the middle of answering a question?
No, as a matter of fact, Trump's G7 meeting pressers, they showed all of the back and forth because they were all hostile.
Right.
This was the president departing his mind for a moment. And the fact that they've all made a decision, no, pretend it didn't happen, Like I told you, when Donald Trump called the woman at the town, when Biden called the woman at the town hall a dog-faced pony soldier, I was talking to a guy. I was on a TV set, a news channel set, and I was talking to a friend of mine saying, "Can't believe he said that. That's crazy." And the news director came over and said, "What? No, it's not. That's something he says all the time. It's from a movie. It's nothing. It's nothing." In other words, that TV station was not going to go with it or show it, whatever. They had made the decision. No, we're covering for him. And the fact that they were covering for this, that's just damn dangerous. That is dangerous because this was a striking piece of audio. Okay, so can we just get to, I want to get to Lin-Manuel Miranda, who's almost been canceled. Remember yesterday we played the In the Heights stuff?
Yeah.
Which was remarkable, where this group who made this movie wasn't dark enough. They were
white passing Latinx people, colorism and pigmentocracy.
So they were guilty of bringing white passing people in, and there were pigmentocracy was at play, and it was very, very bad. And the director Chu, whatever, was apologetic and said, "Oh, you have to have more conversations. Oh, I feel terrible." Now. What did Miranda write it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so this was a Broadway musical first that was his in 2005 before Hamilton was big. And then they've recently made it into this movie.
Okay, so now the big man of Hamilton fame, who's beloved everywhere, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yep. He's decided to come out and acknowledge the controversy.
He's taking a shot too.
I started writing In the Heights because I didn't feel seen. And over the past 20 years, all I have wanted was for us, all of us, to feel seen. I'm seeing the discussion around Afro-Latino representation in our film this weekend. Props for at least not saying Latinx.
Yeah.
And it's clear that many in our dark-skinned Afro-Latino community don't feel sufficiently represented within it, particularly among the leading roles. I can hear the hurt and frustration over colorism, of feeling still unseen in the feedback. I hear that without sufficient dark-skinned Afro-Latino representation, the work feels extractive of the community we wanted so much to represent with pride and joy. In trying to paint a mosaic of this community, we fell short. I'm truly sorry. I'm learning from the feedback. I thank you for raising it, and
shut up.
I am listening.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to hold space for both the incredible...
Oh, my God. He's holding space. I wish he'd met Bonnie.
I'm trying to hold space for both the incredible pride in the movie we made and to be accountable for our shortcomings. Thanks for your honest feedback. I promise to do better in my future projects, and I'm dedicated to the learning and evolving we all have to do to make sure we are honoring our diverse and vibrant community.
You happy you played this game, Lynn? Good.
Yeah, I also...
Sans culottes, Alice.
Yeah, sans culottes is right. So, I also have... This is a tip from a listener, actually. You don't know this. This is a good one. This is a younger listener of ours. Who is in college and who is sharing a controversy from, I don't usually know if this is a girl or a guy, but they're sharing a controversy from their college. Well, but it's confusing. I didn't want to call them they because part of this is that the person I'm writing about is...
Do you have time for this, by the way? Do you have to go?
Yes, we're okay right now. Okay. So anyway, sorry.
It's okay. White passing Latinx people, colorism and pigmentocracy.
Yeah, so there's some stuff happening here. So this person had some trouble getting parked for, this is a problem you can relate with, I think. They had some problems. They had to come into the campus to do a COVID test before going on to their other stuff at the campus, had some trouble parking, parked in a lot where they're not allowed to park. And not our listener, but this is the person that they sent me this from their college. And this person then wrote to campus safety to complain that they received a $50 parking ticket for being parked in a lot where they weren't supposed to park for 6 minutes. And they pointed out that there was no reason for these rules to exist. And the person from campus safety wrote back and said that... that they know it's confusing. There's lots of rules. They're sorry that they got a ticket because the person writing in is a they. And that that's still the rule. And they were ticketed for parking illegally. Which you would think that would be the end of it. But no. Because then they write back, "Thank you for sharing this information. I appreciate that in your reality it is easy to get around. It is easy to do anything if you put the word just in front of it. So you are right. I could have just walked, as you did to prove this point. But let's leave the ableism out of this. I'm saddened that the narrative about parking is so individualized and that my frustrations have been turned back on me as blame. Yes, because you parked illegally. That's why they've been turned back on you as blame for getting the ticket. That's why you got a ticket. It's because you parked illegally.
Yes, because the person who wrote the ticket didn't park illegally.
That's what happened.
Yes, you've made this about you.
I'm saddened that the narrative about my parking is so individualized and that my frustrations have been turned back on me as blame. I am simply aiming to ease an anxiety and frustration shared by my community. So it wasn't really just about them. They were raising this for the community. Our students are smart and motivated. We will get to where we need to be no matter what, pandemic or not. But we are also busy, and anxiety about how to get where we need to be is very real. I'm genuinely confused as to why it's so hard for the university to offer a small kindness in the form of parking. So you are right. This isn't about COVID restrictions, nor gates. This is about the much more serious problem our university has with inaccessibility and a lack of genuine care for one another. The reason I reach out to you is because the COVID task force offers a time to reevaluate how all rules impact the safety and well-being of our community. I am not just pissed about a ticket. Definitely not.
No.
Because it objectively sucks to get ticketed. I truly believe that adjusting the driving rules on campus will make students happier. This is an opportunity to recognize that rules must change as we do, and that upholding a rule simply because it is a rule is a form of violence. I understand that rules are rules. However, it seems aggressive to say I broke the law. Campus safety ticketed me, not the police. Please do not criminalize this situation. By using such language, you show how our campus safety program mirrors American policing systems, which is further...
Yours truly, Bonnie's owner's boyfriend.
By using such language, you show how our campus safety program mirrors American policing systems, which is further reinforced by your rhetoric
to turn into a thesis
that this is an individual issue. These rules regulate how bodies on our campus move and exist, and it is necessary to remove as much violence, both historical and contemporary, from the institutional regulations.
I found the ticket to be white passing.
To summarize, I am asking you to use your power to be generous to the student body here now and in the future. I hope you take these considerations seriously and have a nice day.
Yeah.
They, them, theirs.
Congratulations. That sounds like that kid is going places. That's very impressive. I am.
And thank you to
you
our
have
listener
now.
who's
You have for
been
the first time made me side with big parking ticket. Somebody who I have been at odds with now for 3 decades.
Yeah.
I've got my own problems with...
Never once have you written to tell them that enforcing rules is a form of historical violence perpetrated by American policing systems on your body.
No, I have written them in a colorful way, I can tell you that. There's no doubt. But I was not alleging that I was the victim in that particular... There was a time, though, a couple of years ago, where I was getting them every single day, and I was sure the mayor was just sticking it to me. Or somebody was. I even, saw them before they came and said, hey, it's okay, it's my car. Before they started doing anything, they said, oh, it's too late.
It's in my system already. I can't.
This wasn't even in this system, but they didn't get flying. They, it's fun after a while. If you're in customer service.
I think the thing with the parking tickets is that the automated parking things, at least in cities like Boston, I don't know how it is everywhere, but I think because they know when your ticket runs out in the system, I think the people get a little alert to come ticket you.
Ooh, that's smart.
I bet they do, because it's always like a minute after the time runs out.
Somebody's got to come up with a jammer. Let's come up with a jammer. All right, Alice. Time to get your hair done, right?
Yep, it is.
Well, this is great. So I'll post a picture of you before and after.
Okay.
What are you going to get done?
We will probably meet you at the baseball game. Our son has a baseball game at...
What are you going to get done?
Oh, what am I going to get done? A long shoulder-length bob, I think.
Really? You look very cute. All right.
Thank you, everybody. This has been the Burn Barrel Podcast. You can find us at Burn Barrel Pod on Twitter or Facebook.com/Burn Barrel Podcast. You can also find us at burnbarrelpodcast.com or shoot us an email, burnbarrelpodcast@gmail.com. We're on YouTube where you can see video versions and you can like and comment and subscribe and stuff there. Also, write us a review on Apple Podcasts if you get a chance. Supposedly that helps with stuff. I always see people say it.
White passing Latinx people, colorism and pigmentocracy